just doing the fourth part of this series, and slightly different setup. My computer is not working, so got my iPhone. So Pickles is not here because, you know, it's late. She's back hanging out in her homeland, hanging out with her bunny stuff. So it's just me, just a dude with a pen. So here we go. If you can get closer here. I get the lighting right here. It's a bit. I think that works. So, working on the hand. Maybe I should do this. Just lighting here. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let me just adjust the focus. Screen focus. Okay. And you got some voices back there. It's the Canucks game against LA, just in the background there. Needs something in the background, but I don't know, just I don't know. I've only been watching sports for past about a year now. Never was really into it. And because of what happened to me a year ago, or just over a year ago, yeah, I had to take a break from everything, and unfortunately, I'm taking a break because I couldn't handle myself, and basically I got to learn the Fraser Health System in the past year really well, and all the different departments, and I'm doing a part that's not on camera because I'm not concentrating. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, let's start. Let's work on these fingers here. Get the knuckle there, and the little. I get kind of rounded a bit on the top here, right in between the knuckles, and then make another bulky knuckle here. And then, unfortunately, as it goes down, he's got a bit of a problem here. He's got the fungal root system is integrating. Well, I guess he's kind of, because he's coming out of this tree, so he's kind of pulling away from this stuff. So eventually he'll probably rip away, and maybe I'll have some bits and stuff flying around. So here you go. So when the finger's behind there, because he's pulling away, you know, you gotta kind of give some wrinkles and indentations and marks and stuff, and yeah, get some little indents here, and you got the knuckle skin. You know, that's always good to emphasize because that also denotes the shape. Fingers, yeah, it's kind of cramming in there, and I think you want to make the fingers not so rigid and angular like most YouTube stuff online, where they tell you to do like straight line and a bit of this. You don't want to make it too soft and rounded, but I don't know. Just makes it feel like you don't get a sense of flesh, because there's muscles, there's veins, there's skin, there's, the blood rushing through, people got arthritis. I mean, there are all these things that are affecting it, the age, the roughness of the skin. So here, what I like to do on the outside side palm is get a few wrinkles. I mean, you can kind of see there, like, got all that stuff going on when I squeeze it. So that's where the flesh is kind of crumbling up and kind of coming into each other, So you kind of make a little, denote an indent, and then it's kind of coming back out. And then here, because usually you got some veins here and traveling along the top of the hand. And then, I got the back one, just the other fingers is kind of just here in the back. And then here, you get the combination, especially with the wrists, you've got the bones that are pretty much touching the, oh my goodness, LA scored. The sadness. Now, I'm eating some whole oats. So, there's your SMR, I guess. I don't know. ASMR or BDSM, whatever abbreviations you're into. Okay, doing the other hand again, sorry. It's been a rough day. So, I'm doing this late. Probably shouldn't be, but I don't know. I don't want to go to bed, so here. So you got the veins, so you travel it over here and you split them up. Try to give it variety. You don't want to be consistent, or that, not consistent, but you don't want to feel like there's a pattern to things, and sometimes it gets really tight, constricted, in a big open space, and then, yeah. Some random markings here, indents. And maybe I'll lead this in, Okay, don't need to do too much. That gives me a good idea. This is kind of trippy here with the... Stay with me there. There you go. So let's travel down the fingers. Oh my God, horrible commercial. The madness. Travel down the fingers here, and this morphing from roots to finger, roots to flesh. The classic tale. So since I'm going kind of twisted and gnarly, and you can do whatever I wish in this kind of area, what I like to do is kind of change your thickness, and you don't want to have the same kind of lines on the same side so it seems symmetrical. And I want to change it up. I got 2 here. And then I always like to add in these lines here implying that, we're seeing it's kind of twisting and when this part's going in the back. And that's all you really need, just a little indication that it's not, you're not just looking at a 2D shape, you're looking at a 3D shape. Back to some SMR hockey. Or BDSM hockey, there's all kind of hockey out there for everybody. That's what I try to do too, is add little elements that are kind of coming off of it. Gives it a bit more interest. Instead of just being a sort of twisty tube, it looks like it's got like little other things growing off of it, and little baby sticks. Jesus, more commercials than hockey. Oh well. Money's money. So I'm just giving a little bit of character to it. I actually don't really need to do a lot. Sometimes you can get a lot, just a little, and if you've got such interesting and sort of complex structures, that kind of sells most of it, and then all you gotta do is you just gotta imply a little, see like an indent there, and indent there, and here a dent, everywhere a dent. And, then we got this thing here, it's kind of cool. I thought I'd have the veins kind of coming off, like the veins are part of the root system too. It's a big old root vein party. I'll just have that one go right there. Hey, I just realized something. I'm using the gray version. You can't really tell there, but I couldn't, that just shows you. Yeah, had a rough day. Let me get actual black. Wow. Yeah, another thing I mentioned, there's black, there's brown, and there's also gray versions of these, which is kind of cool. That's fine, but once I do this, you'll see the difference, I think. Yeah. Not really. I see it. Yeah, I guess the gray, because on the brown paper it kind of goes a bit darker, so it doesn't really, and maybe the light, the glare from the light, I think is doing something too. Oh well. I'll just use the black to define the outline, a bit more solid of a line. So when I select it in the computer, I can easily do that. Yeah, so I was saying, a year ago, and I'm trying to find a new path, trying to be more authentic and more internal dialogue is just crap. It's like, yeah, my self-talk for the past 48 years has really beat myself up. I can spend weeks, months on a painting and think it's okay. So I've been seeing people to help me change my mental dialogue and other types of other aids to figure out what the hell's going on. And but it's rough, trying to figure out multiple things, and it's practical crap and emotional stuff and mental stuff and art stuff and relationship stuff and how much is too much. That's the hardest thing. This past year I've had to really watch out that I don't do too much and take on too much, and it's hard when you got to get going. You got to, pay bills, and you got to find out. But, I have a hard time doing the simple stuff right now, and it's still not getting better. And I'm getting better by realizing why I'm like this, and trying new ways to look at myself and different ways of handling things and changing how I react. Some of you may have heard it, cognitive behavioral therapy or dialectical behavioral therapy, and it's where you acknowledge how you mentally react to things and how much you emphasize your feelings to certain things, and try to kind of bridge the gap between your logical side, logical thoughts, logical ways, and your intuitive, reactive ways. And as artists, for me, I've always said, well, I'm trying to emphasize and figure out my intuitive self and to reflect that in my art and have a connection to the universe and to the way everything is connected, and you just don't want to edit your ideas. But in the end, we're humans first, and then artists or whatever else, so it's that big question that not a lot of people, or not even artists, would want to ask themselves is, what are they if they're not doing art? Like, when they're not doing art, what are they? What are you exactly? Because I think we tend to define ourselves by how our art is, and the fact that we do art, that's me. But when you take that away, when I took that away, when I said that, I asked those questions, when I stopped selling my art and stopped trying to market it and all that, and I essentially just didn't like what I was, don't like what I am, just don't like just how I am being, always judging myself, always thinking I could do better, perfectionism and catastrophizing and all that stuff, where you're like, you think you can predict the future, and you think you know how things went in the past. And I've had to rechange my history, the way I perceived it anyways, not the history itself, but how I perceived it, how I feel about my successes, and just because I didn't continue on doing something doesn't mean I failed, but that's what I've been doing, and it's been eating me up. But enough of this happy-go-lucky dialogue. Let's get back to the meat, to the roots. Let's see. This arm bit. Get down to the shadows. Let's see, focus. There we go. Okay, so we've got just this cluster of roots and wood, and this is where I kind of enjoy. I mean, that honestly, the reason why I'm good at what I do is because I only do certain things. There's no like quick tips for this stuff. I mean, YouTube's full of quick tips. It's so, and it's funny, like someone will say, oh, 3 tips to be better at this, and then they'll put in brackets, no, it really is. And it's like, no, just make your stuff. Just make your stuff, and don't break it up into easily digestible pieces. You're not making a bag of chips for people, which honestly, that's what I feel like everyone's doing. All the artists on YouTube, it's like, giving you all the fast food stuff, assuming you won't stick around and pay attention and just, and if not, that's fine. I mean, I'm doing this because it was easy to do. Because I tried with complex, with other cameras, other lighting, and made it all look nice and pro, and yeah. And now I'm even making it more minimal, just the iPhone, which is probably just fine. So I think what I'll do is make a space here. Even though I had a bunch of pencil marks here, I think I'll leave a gap so it doesn't feel same, like a pattern, So this will kind of break up a bit. And then maybe do, like that's where the vein is connected to the roots there. And it kind of, when I do my, like I said, I draw what I'm good at, Like I don't do portraits, I don't do, I don't know, just someone sitting there, or, I don't try to like draw like real buildings or real vehicles, or, I always like the idea of just coming up with stuff. So, yeah, so when I do these, I kind of like think about, like, I almost treat like trees and roots and systems as ligaments. Like I make them look like they're creeping along, and they're, they have the same kind of similar intention as like organic flesh, creature. So I kind of play with that, and then I do the reverse where I'll make, because this arm is kind of, let me go this like that. This arm is almost like twisting tree, has a twisting vibe, and because I'm not going by proper muscle anatomy, which is boring, and why would I want to do that when, tons of people have already done that, and, sorry. We got this one here. And then what else is cool to do is change the ratio. So you've got like a really big piece, but it's connected to a little small element here. So it almost feels a bit impractical or not like it's going to stay on or something like that. So I find that if I rearrange proportions and make things look like they shouldn't be attached or they won't stand, they won't be strong, but they are. So it's making you feel like this is really strong material, strong wood, and it doesn't need to be like have a really secure base. You can have a little one and still be very effective. Yeah. It's a challenge trying to figure out how things feel and everything. Something I've been trying to deal with, because you'll say I feel angry, I feel alone, or I feel confused. It's not really the feeling there. It's more just like a intellectual, like a logical way of talking about stuff. I mean, we say we're sad, but sad is so abstract and broad. But unfortunately, most times that pretty much is right. That can be only way you can talk about it, and when you've got experiences and moments and discussions you've had with people and all this stuff that kind of pile up into these memories that you instinctively respond to, emotionally you connect them to other things, and yet you're trying to make those not happen anymore. It's hard to break that down and say, okay, like, this is how you have to identify how you feel so you can figure out how not to feel that as much, because we tend to just overcompensate because we think we're justified, because it's been so long sitting in your head that it almost seems like it needs to be an intense reaction to this new thing. You use that old experience and you say stuff like it's always bad, or it's never a happy experience, and it's not. Another thing, absolute words. I use those like right now all the time. It's hard not to use absolute words or change the language in your head. That's the other thing too. I've done good, but I don't know, now I'm just so aware of these things that I instantly acknowledge them, and that means I instantly have to stop what I'm doing to kind of, meditate on it, relax. And so I end up taking forever to clean up, or to, doing the dishes, vacuuming can most of the time it tires me out, and so that's why I'm having a hard time with work, finding a new job that's not stressful and all that. It's I keep making grunting sounds and groaning sounds, and just kind of tired of coming up with other ways of talking about this crap. I don't know, I think I'm blocking a lot of it. I don't know. The shadow. Okay, so these individual root systems are coming together. Oh, food. drink. Got some water. Look at duck. Oh, I'll drip some water on the drawing. That's not good for business. Okay, let's reset the shot on this. Oh, well. It's a bit of character. Okay, I got a little mini, funky tripod for the camera here. Let's see. Let's work on the what you got? The thing that's a thing that's a thing. Okay, I got that light glitter on. That's really annoying. I don't know. There we go. See. Come on. Okay. This is a really cool one. I like this because it's got this big, sort of this more external tubular muscle here, and that one's here, and it's poking out here, and then the big bicep kind of things here, and triceps kind of split up, and yeah, it's cool because it kind of bleeds into here. It's I like how it's that hybrid of vein and muscle. So let's see, that guy's going here. And then there we go, finish off, and then there's maybe I'll add a bit more of an elbow going on here. Oh. Is it raining out there? Oh, let's see. It's not raining. It's not raining. I just thought I'd check, see. I guess it's focus, buddy. Can you do it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought it was raining, but I got a big maple tree outside my window. All the big branches, little branches, but it's right near, and I guess the wind's there. It's tapping the window a bit. Now I got the window open. The quiet middle of the night. Hearing very little truck here going by. You know, trucks in the distance, but yeah. Go around there. So this muscle here, see, it a bit of a straight line a bit, and then go curve. So you're definitely playing with that relationship of how round or straight, and I've been drawing muscular things and veiny things and roots and all kinds of things intertwining and all that stuff. So it's like I kind of just don't really think about it, but trying to make it feel like everything's interacting with everything else, everything's affecting everything else, and that's really what happens, There we go. In the tricep zone. Watch out for the tricep zone. Okay, it's looking good. I got this muscle here that's kind of split there. Here in the train coming. Yeah, the train is like just the perfect distance from here. And since there's mainly farmland on one side and where I'm on the little town side, it's like kind of dissipates, but has like a delay to it. It's a really good what do you call that? Deep listening. Yeah. There's a lot of good deep listening where I am, especially at night. Yeah. Okay, and then we've got this little tubular muscle coming out here, kind of breaking off. So once again, I'm playing with this idea of the muscles are kind of actually wrapping around each other and intersecting and moving around. They're not, it's kind of a fun little, it's like a game where I see how far can I push this stuff, how far can I sort of, go against the laws of nature, as it were, and make my own rules for how this stuff behaves. But with all these things, every single line has its own little personality. Every mark has a personality. So that's kind of why I like the idea of keeping the marks in when I do the digital art instead of covering it all up, which a lot of digital art does. Which, once again, I said before, makes it seem like the same artist is making all the digital art out there. It's kind of ironic, all the AI talk about stuff being the same and looking the same, which AI art does look the same right now anyways. Okay. This is where the vein kind of fades out. There's this divot here, I think, I guess. Oh yeah, I can hear the train horns going in the distance. Sounds nice. Okay, now we're going to work on the bicep people. Not the bicep people, but work on the bicep people. There you go, there could be a little people, they're just biceps. Just a bunch of biceps walking around, trying to figure out how to hook up with another bicep. Sounds like a Rick and Morty episode. Bicep land. So once again, I'm using the veins to denote the shape and the personality of the bicep. Here I got this really fat sort of cluster where the veins, and some really kind of pushed it here where I had the vein is pretty much like covering the whole thing. Let me get closer. I don't know. Let's see here. There we go. Oops. There we go. Bit of a shadow there, but it's just the. So we got this little, this is where the separation between the forearm and the biceps. I got this little inset here, and there's usually little other tendons and stuff, so I usually put a couple lines, and you've got this massive vein that's just coming around here that connects there. And this comes around there, and this is great because this is the spot where it tells you really what's going on with the bicep. It gives it that curve, that depth. You got this little dude going around here. Not as much sound with the pen as if I was using like pencil or pencil crayons, but this is the most important part. This is where everything gets defined and gets ready for the onslaught of color and texture and a whole menagerie. Of artistic flair. What's going on? Drink. I forgot this little guy. I'll finish this off right here. This little dude, it's kind of curling around, make him fat and then small again. That's another key feature that I do. I like to play with is having things change their width, you know, like a tree or like even a vine or a root or the vein or the arteries, veins on the arm. Like, it really adds a lot of individuality and personality and interest, just visual interest, you know. Then you're ready to do a couple lines denoting this is in front, this in back, and that's kind of curving and twisting. And there you go. Okay, back to the muscles. I think the other thing about this whole idea of doing, you know, big muscular creatures is I'm not trying to make, you know, these powerful, badass dudes, you know. I'm trying to make them into that kind of sort of superficial idea of strength, right? Because interesting enough, when it comes to a lot of disciplines, It's about technique, you know. Yeah, that's why you can have, like, you know, all kinds of people, you know, do martial arts with each other, and, you know, have, you know, all these different sports where it doesn't really matter who's doing it. It's like, it's technique, you know. It's just, and then getting out of your head and not giving into pain, which is a mental thing. It's not a physical thing. It's like when you see the strongman competitions, you know, it's usually their forearms and hands that give, you know. It's funny, like you have to work at building up all your body, and then it's all the sort of the smaller limbs and aspects of your body that are the real taking the brunt of things. And but I don't do that stuff myself, so, you know, I ain't no expert. I do like weightlifting or some kind of strength training, but when you're feeling like shit, it doesn't take much for you to be overwhelmed. You kind of haven't really been into it. Okay, so here we got the camera on. I gotta move the camera out of the way because I have to do it. The ballet of camera and artist. Who will win? Oh, we're at the 48 mark. So I think what I'll do is I'll just work on this. Let's see. Get this lined in. Lined in? I don't know, outlined in, or so so I wanted to give it a bit more, like a bit of a bump to it, so it's not a perfectly round or perfectly nice line. You know, you gotta change it up, so you got these different muscles kind of squishing into each other, compressing into each other, and it's like a big old muscle orgy, really. Okay. That was looking good. So you really get a sense this is a kind of, it's got gravity to it. Just kind of sitting on top of this one. It's pushing down on these, and then this goes here, and this kind of getting connected to another, because this is another bicep. So I got the, you know, bicep, I don't know, bicep forearm or bicep. I don't know. They're just, it just looks good. It feels good to draw. Yeah, so I think let's do some little marks here. Indent. So there's another session. Slowly working on it, you know. Nice being able to just, you know, draw this and gets the thoughts out of my head so they don't sit in your head and ferment. Fermenting's good with your thoughts, but they can also rot too. So especially if he's got the wrong thoughts in there. So, anyways, thanks for watching. I'll be doing more. Bye.